Only in 2024 can you watch a trad wife and two OF girls gang up on a Trump-supporting conservative talk show host.
I'm just curious, do you think it's cool to consider yourself an evil? Proud of that?
So here on the left is going to be Natalie Winters. Natalie Winters is a conservative talk show hostess who is on the show The War Room with Steve Bannon. On the right here are some OF models who she's arguing with.
No.
So Natalie is on this show arguing with these women about how what they're doing is wrong, about how selling your sexuality and your body for money is such a bad thing. But there's a donation that pops up that makes a very good point.
I think it's a joke. Okay. It's just funny.
Wait,
it's just stupid.
Natalie, you call out of girl, but you are not modest at all. Sieg, for example.
So I'm like, damn, bro. She better not be telling on herself that quick. Let's go look at the IG. Let's see what the IG is looking like, okay? All right, so we're scrolling down, we're looking here. Yeah, this is not the best. This is definitely not the best. Yeah, she got the melons going on. She's doing the melon things. She's doing the things with her melons. All right, so yeah, this is not looking good. Yeah, I wonder what you're doing here. You are an amazing, smart journalist, but I would suggest you consider dressing more modest as you represent a conservative view, and this weakens your integrity, in my humble opinion. Be you, but just tone it down in your attire in public. There better not be any damn simps replying to this. There better not be any damn simps. Nah, she's just fine. Yeah, right, bro. She's under 25 and totally brilliant. You are only young once to be a bit provocative. Yeah, to be a hoe, right? You might as well be a hoe when you're in your most fertile years, right? To have sterile relationships and ruin your chances in the future with actually pair bonding, right? What an idiot. This is where the conservative police got to step in. This is getting pretty freaking ridiculous. We do have to police our own, because if we don't, how are we going to distinguish ourselves from the freaking degenerates on the other side? So what is conservatism? Let's look at the definition real quick. Commitment to traditional values and ideas with opposition to change or innovation. The holding of political views that favor free enterprise, private ownership, and socially traditional ideas. This is a problem. This woman is not traditional. If I was Natalie Winters, I would think to myself, what is the point of conservatism if it dies off? In order to conserve society, you need a conservative man and a conservative woman. But should conservative men be going for women who hussify their IGs, who are selling their bodies? Is that socially traditional to sell your body online in that way? Obviously not. So should men be going after women like that? No.
The brain work.
Yeah, I was just curious, what do you think of your subscribers? Do you respect them, or do you just look at them as a vessel for cash, basically?
What is this? But daddy, I missed the mean tweets. Okay, she's talking about Trump here, but very, very interesting. Sexual innuendo type joke. But daddy, you're calling Trump daddy, right? Pretty sexual, if you ask me. And you're selling the t-shirts. USA Made collection is available now at she'soright.com. You have people calling you out in the comments. It's a shame you have a problem with girls who do sex work, but yet you can go ahead and take photos like this. Sounds a lot like a vessel for cash, right? You're selling this image of yourself, a sexual one at that, and you're using it on IG, which is going to gain you popularity, notoriety, reputation, clout, and in this case, for the t-shirts that you're selling, merchandise. It's not that different.
Do you want to address?
Sure, and I want to finish.
Sure, sure.
I don't sell myself online, so there's a complete difference. The job that I have, I know we haven't gotten to it yet, but it's for my brain and my investigative report. So I'm content with how I present myself online, and I don't think there's anything super wrong with living your life in a way not necessarily just to attract male attention. I'm not gay, so I like guys. I don't think there's anything really wrong with looking nice and presenting yourself in a feminine way.
Here's the thing about the frustrating thing watching these podcasts is the women are either dumb or they play dumb. And sometimes I don't know which one is more true. Obviously, you're not selling your body in that way, but you're selling body for merchandise and you're using your body for attention.
Do you think the quality of man that you're going to attract by doing this, do you think there's going to be any effect on that, given that you have
quality? She don't care.
Yeah. I mean, not as much as you're cutting down the type of guys you attract by wearing that top. So
I feel like we're wearing the same
what's wrong with her
exact
shirt?
What the hell? I think we're wearing the same exact shirt.
Yeah, but I'm not talking
You don't like
down.
purple?
I'm not talking down on women who.
I don't sell my body for money.
You just do it for free.
I don't sell my body.
Sure, it's a distinction. Sure, you're not a P-star or an OF model, but this is still not something I would ever want to wife up. just off strictly how her IG is set up. So now this is when the tables start to turn and the OF model is starting to get more reinforcements from, you guessed it, a trad woman.
Abigail, do you have any thoughts on the OF stuff? Ooh, voice crack, nice.
I do. I, of course, don't think selling your body online is something to be proud of. But I will say I don't think they make a bad point when they mention the top that you're wearing being selling like for
I thought
free.
it was fine.
Wait, what
I
the
have
hell?
nothing wrong with purple. It looks
What's wrong with-
fine.
Let me
Is it the
say,
color?
I think
She's
modesty is
voluptuous.
important, especially if you're going to talk down
that's
on
sexist.
somebody not being modest.
first of all, this
We should pull up her Instagram.
honestly, I have a
she's-
high enough self-worth in my intelligence that I am okay wearing a like marginally low-cut shirt.
Yeah.
So let me get this straight. In order for women to sexualize themselves, you have to have a certain IQ level. I've never heard that argument ever. Basically, only the intelligent women can dress provocative to attract men with their sexuality. So long as you're really smart, you can entice men with your body, and no one should say anything about it. That very argument doesn't follow, because if that was the case, you would be more interested in figuring out these girls' IQ levels and how smart they were to gauge whether or not they were justified in selling their bodies. But I don't even think she believes that. I think this might have been like one of those responses that was just like a filler. It was just something to fill up the space. Some response that she felt like she had to give. It was a very unintelligent argument though. Guys, you guys got to watch out for women like this because they talk a good game, right? They're conservative, right? The only thing that they conserve is the sexual control they have over men. They want to make sure that they have power over men, and they can use that power to get into a position like on a show host like this, or to sell merchandise. They're going to use their sexual prowess to get in a higher position, maybe even in a high profile relationship. Ultimately, this is opportunistic behavior. It's manipulative. It's not something you should trust. Now let's think about this logically here. Kids will bully you, right? And sure, just because your mother doesn't have an adult website, she's still trying to be this video vixen on her IG. So this is still maybe not as embarrassing, but still embarrassing for a child to look at this. I've seen Natalie argue with women on this podcast, okay? And one of her arguments has been in the past, what do you think your kids are going to think about this? Don't you think it's going to be bad for your children in the future? But I would like to posit that same question to Natalie. Do you think your son or daughter would be proud of watching his mother jump around and just showing her oogly booglies in every one of her photos? Do you think a son or daughter is going to be proud of his mother who's trying to post like a pinup doll, or who's trying to make sure men look under her dress? What is the point of a conservative woman if she is addicted to the sexual attention of men? This woman is not making a good case that she's anything different than the woman to the right side of the podcast. You have to be very careful with these women because it smells very, very fake. It smells like wolf in sheep's clothing. It smells like, yeah, you have ideas, but it's probably just because it's coming from an opportunistic place to get over on people. Because if you don't hold the values, if you're not true to the values, then maybe it shows to your integrity. So it's very cheap and it's definitely not virtuous. Yeah, I think she can turn it around. She just needs to delete those photos. Maybe even make an apology video about it, acknowledging that this is a stupid way to move as a young woman. If I was her father, I'd be obviously embarrassed. If I was her son or daughter, I would be very, very afraid of them bringing me this video of my mother at the playground. To the women out there, don't put your sexuality at the forefront of your image because you're repelling a lot of men that are going to see this and are going to be immediately turned off. Sure, you're attractive. Sure, you can be used as a human Kleenex for a man, and then he just leads you on and then he just dumps you to the side of the road. Like, sure, you can do that endeavor, or you can just have some self-respect and some class, have some standards, and you'll get a good man to come along. But to the men out there, you guys got to really look out for women like this. Women who are very vain and very like image-based. They care so much about their image to the extent that they're willing to use their sexuality to attract men, attract attention, attract opportunities, or sell merchandise. This is definitely a big red flag because their dignity, the way they view dignity and self-respect is corrupted by how much attention they get.